Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're reviewing this beautiful QJ Motor SRK 421R. Really nice entry-level model from the brand. Incredible fitment on this vehicle. Incredibly nice looks. All about it. Honestly, you know, if I can just step off for a second here, I'll give you a show before I get on the road on it. You know, incredible fitment on this bike. You know, obviously you've got some Brembo brakes, you've got some very nice 44 on here. Really nice fitment all around. And honestly, I mean, just the sound for a 400, unheard of. Honestly, I mean, you take a look at a Kawasaki Ninja 500, which is obviously closest spec sales model to one of these. Price performance is impossible on it. Hell of a thing that's it. Heavily impressed with this vehicle. I obviously had the chance to take it home last night. You know, rode it in on my way into work. Seriously usable amount of everything on this bike. Controls are all right. Once again, fitment great. The dash, all the QJ dash is incredibly interesting and incredibly impressive. You know, so yeah, let's take it out, let's have a look. Over here you'll see you can actually get into the menu on her. Let me park it up for a second here. So we can actually get into menu on this motherfucker. Very easy and usable workspace over here. We've got, you know, tire pressure monitoring systems, we've got normal and sport mode, traction control, we've got ABS. Funnily enough, we have a launch control. And on an entry-level bike like this for 109,000 Rand, once again, completely unheard of. Completely unheard of. Very impressive stuff. So you'll see that we've got a launch control. Have that front end. You know, as somebody who, you know, myself, I ride a lot of high-end, talky bikes. I've been heavily impressed with how usable this phone is. It really is something to behold. Especially for that entry price. You know, I don't really think there's a bike out there new on the showroom floor that's going for 100 even come close to what this bike actually gives me. That's a third 100 per second. Once again, insane amount of definitely did not feel like the I've ever ridden. ABS and brakes on this bike as well, and heavily impressive. Once again, you know, we've had the pleasure of riding these bikes, demoing and showing them off. Thanks to KMSA, you know, they are not technically in the country as of yet for retail. We've got them coming in June. We've got a few models coming in. This will be one of them. But, you know, I mean, running through it. So this bike was one above full, I mean, one under full when I got it on last night. Got about, say, 50 kilometers on it so far. I've only got one fuel gauge, which is, once again, very impressive stuff. And a very usable and impressive amount of torque from a low 400. Very torquey, very nice on the arm. Can really feel pulling through on that inline motor. Yeah, I can't say I've run into many entry-level bikes like this that have this level of fitment, this level of quality. Obviously, as you get down, you know, even in the realm of Honda, Kawa, Suzuki, if we're riding on a 250, if we're riding on the 300, the 400, you can tell where you save some money in terms of fitment, levers, braking, motor, power, torque, everything on this bike. I mean, it doesn't feel like she costs what she does. And I mean, just looking down all of this, I mean, look at this dash. You don't get a dash like this on anything but a BM, really. And under heavy braking, ABS is doing its job. You can feel it fighting back, pushing back on it, going, no, 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 hold on. Don't want to break traction here. Let's see what she launches like, yeah? I mean, I can't say I'm not impressed. I can't say this is not a great machine, because it really is. I mean, it does everything it says it should. It does everything it should. Really, really impressive bike. I'm quite blown away by this brand so far. I'm very excited to see what else they're out to offer on it. The whole lineup is incredibly impressive. Yeah, hell of a bike. You know, if you're looking for something that's a commuter, you don't need to spend crazy amounts of money, no Facebook marketplace hunting, this is the bike for you, quite frankly. If you need something with more torque, if you need something with better fitment, you know, obviously in the higher range of their lineup, they are much more tricky. As you get up on the S5 series, you obviously have friction. I got the chance to try out the quick shift on the Super 9, and that, I must say, once again blew me away. Really did. We're just gonna take her up here, take her for a little Wiley Coyote loads over there, you ride, a little testy. But this bike's great for a beginner, because while it does have force, it doesn't run away. But you know, even for somebody like myself, who, you know, as I say, I do ride a hell of a lot of talkie bikes. I'm really impartial to my Dukes. This bike is great. It's a champion. Yes. Change up the exhaust a little bit, you know, take off the mirrors, and you've got yourself a track bike. I mean, you can even look at the rear. But honestly, as it sits out the box, I am blown away by every QJ that I ride so far. It's stable, hands off, there's absolutely no shake, all of it's been really nice. Everything about this bike just tip top. You can really feel her around the corners. You know, you give her a little gear down, let's take us a little 1 and 2, and you can actually see very nice, very nimble, very light, very flickable. And you know, I'm not obviously riding something slightly similar to it. I mean, I have ridden a few of the Ninja 500. It doesn't compare, honestly. While those may be faster, in terms of the actual usable torque on this bike, the throttle very tight, very light, feels like a sport bike. And that on a 400cc at the price ratio that it's at, I mean, I can't say. I have no notes, honestly, for QJ. They've really knocked it out of the park with a lot of these models they brought into the market. I feel like it's going to tilt the market quite heavily, actually. Yeah. This is the thing is, I have a mission. I have a mission. seriously punchy little thing. I mean, this thing punches above its weight. Speaking of weight, I mean, the amount of lightness I feel with riding this bike, so leanable, so ready. It's like waiting for you to give it the When you listen to that sound, what bike can you rev bomb people like that with? You know, if you're somebody who's looking for a day-to-day commuter, this bike's probably around it, eh? This bike's probably it. You know, obviously, if you need something a bit more torquey, they do have the 600cc in the SRK range. They even have it all the way up to 921. You know, obviously, that's the same motor as the SG9 that I rode previously, and that thing really, really did surprise me. Impeccable amount of torque all the way through. Obviously, these inline motors they've got on them give you really good low end gun. But they don't just do that; they also give you that top end that everybody's searching for. You know, most bikes give you a little bit of a lean to one side in terms of low end to high end torque. This bike, same as the SG9, has really good low end guns, and that top end is there. She really does make you feel like, okay, hold on, I need to pay attention a little bit. And after all, that's where the theatre on these bikes come from. It's that feeling of, hold on, let me respect this machine. Because, you know, everything about them just impeccable, quite frankly. Heavily impressive. Heavily impressive. I can't say I'd change a thing on it. But, you know, maybe if you were looking at doing a track out, maybe a little bit of a quick shifter, maybe a little spot turn. Obviously, but name of 400 sounds like that. I don't know if I can. Not talking out the block, just straight out the coast. Wow. I mean, blown away. Absolutely blown away. After riding these things, I can tell you, at least from my own personal experience, I've definitely got something to add to my garage. I'm definitely going to be looking at one of the 921 SRK range, specifically because, like, for a day-to-day ride, these lines, these brands, they've really knocked it out the park. They hit the nail on the head. Yeah, on point. Massive. I mean, what else to have apart from the machine? I'm just gonna pull over here. That's actually one of our directors over there. Gonna let him park off, so I can chase him up to the shop over there. Element of void there. But I mean, past that point, I'm not sure what to add for this review. I mean, honestly, normally I'd focus on the cons of this bike, but I don't see any. I really don't from my end. Name a 400 that sounds like this.
Name a 400
That has Brembos, spoilers, launch control, TPMS
What?
sensors. This is the 421. 109 grand. It's insane. Yeah, so I mean, past that point, like the interaction, obviously speaking to people I know on the road. But yeah, that kind of concludes this little test ride on this bike. You know, I'm pulling back in over to the shop up there, 45 minutes. But I must say, I'm just blown away, absolutely blown away. Thank you very much for joining us for this little test ride on this beautiful little pony. Yeah, that concludes from my end. I am smashed, I am happy, I am heavily impressed by everything this brand has done. Excited to see what it will bring. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us on this vid. Appreciate it. And join us for the next one.